This month we've been working on relationships. So we did relationships with self, family, with Jesus Christ. Cheryl did that last week. It was beautiful. And so today we're dealing with relationships with God. And isn't that really what we strive for our life to be about? A relationship with Creator. When Jesus came to the earth, the idea of God was that God was presence that was so far away from the individual hearts. It was a presence that was so holy that only certain people, priests of certain orders, could go into the inner sanctuary in the Jewish faith. There was a name of God that wasn't spoken. God had to be appeased and obeyed. God was so far away from the individual hearts of the people. And it wasn't just the Jewish faith that had done this. Many, many of the ancient faiths had taken God and made God something that had to be appeased. And when Jesus came and his disciples asked him, "Teach us how to pray," the first word out of his mouth was Abba. Abba is Father. Not just Father, an honor name, but an endearment name. Apparently, the name Abba is a very tender way that you would speak to Father. So what a shock to the relationship to now call God, this God that has been so far away, Father. He shifted the identity of the people from that of puppets and pawns in the game of a god to that of son. And it was a different realization for them. The God no longer needed to be pleased and no longer needed to be feared. Punishment was no longer an issue. It was Father, acceptance, and love. And we took it into the best of our ability, didn't we? We took it into the best of our ability. And then what did we create? We created more religions where we put God far away from us and laws that had to be appeased and obeyed. But Jesus said God was Father. So I wanted to read from you in the Aquarians, chapter 137. And this is right after he's given them the Lord's Prayer. He says, "The answer to your prayer may not appear in the fullness in a little time, but be not discouraged. Pray again and again, for God will hear. Behold, I say to you, ask firmly, and you shall receive. Seek trustingly, and you shall find. Knock earnestly, and the door will open. All things are yours. And when you ask, not as a begging man would ask, but as a child, you shall be satisfied. A son may ask his father for a loaf of bread, and the father will not give him a stone. He may ask him for a fish, and he will not give him a crab. Behold, if men of flesh know how to give abundantly to their children, will not your heavenly Father give abundantly to you when you pray?" In this revelation to his people, he was establishing a connection where they could access God rather than have someone access God on their behalf, rather than God being this distant being. It is so important in our relationship that our connection be daily. Even in the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread. Take care of my needs this day, is what it means. Our Father, our Creator, living in the state of perfect wholeness, give me this day what I need. So, when we join metaphysics, we get so excited because the first thing that we learn is you can have anything you want. Woohoo! And so we have this new relationship with God. We come to metaphysics and we're told we get to manifest. Manifestation is such a part of our creative process. And so we turn to God. We turn to God in a different way than we have in the past. Because normally we only ask for help when we're in trouble, right? Now we turn to God because we get to manifest. And we get to have anything we want. So we turn to God and we pray, and we start asking for things because we're the beloved child of God. And we include God when we're asking, don't we? And then when we get the manifestation, we might throw a casual thank you back to God. But how often do we include God in that which we have received? I want you to hear me here. How often do we treat our manifestation like a child treats his toy? I need, Mommy, Daddy, I need. Mommy, Daddy give you the toy. Thanks, I'm out of here. And off they go and they play with their toy. Do you see? We don't invite Mommy, Daddy to come and play with us. We don't show Mommy, Daddy how it works. We're off in our own little world. How often do we do that with God? We call forth God's supply when we want something. Yet we don't acknowledge that God is still with us in the receiving aspect. All right. In metaphysics, after we learn we can manifest, we also have our next realization. A lot of people get caught in the idea of what I want versus thy will be done. You know, I want this, but thy will be done. And we get caught in this like they're contradictory terms, that way. So I wanted to give you the true definition of thy will be done. Are you ready? Thy will be done means, God, I accept the best you have for me. I accept the inflow of Spirit into every moment of my life. God, help me make my choice. Help me stay in love. And help me know that I am in my right and perfect place doing what is right for me. Now, how scary is that? Thy will be done, God. God, I want that which is right and perfect for me. I want to know that I am in my right and perfect place, and that your all-knowingness, your all-loving of me as child has guided me there. Help me make good choices for me, God. Thy will be done. They're not exclusive terms, I desire and thy will be done, are they? It's saying, I desire, but I want it to be for the highest and best. Do you see? And if we can live in this consciousness, all will be right in our world. When I know I am in my right and perfect place, I stop judging others. Do you know that? When you feel really good about where you are and what you're doing, you stop judging the people around you. Because you know, if I'm in my right and perfect place, likely they are too. Likely they're doing what they need to do for their soul. So let me keep having fun where I am and not sticking my nose in everybody else's business. And you know what you judge, you call forth to yourself to experience. Metaphysics 101. If you judge me, you get to experience being me. Congratulations. You are all now, anyone judging is now crafting a church where they get to be a minister of that church. You see, if you judge someone in poverty, you are drawing to yourself that condition to experience it. You see, when we know we are in our right and perfect place, it frees us to be joyful. It frees us to be happy and to be awake. All right. When we can really say, thy will be done, we are saying, I am doing what I need to do to grow and to become a greater light on the planet. All right. Thy will be done. Without the divine light of God's love, we live in a repetitive world of our own thoughts. Without the divine light of God's love, we live in a repetitive world of our own thoughts. In this world, in order for you to grow, you need something in the outer to shake you up. We call it drama. Once you have created high drama in your world to shake you up, you will now be awake to choose something differently so you can grow. And normally in the midst of the high drama, who do you call out for? God. God, how'd I get here? You created it, so you would wake up. When we live with divine light in a relationship with God, the internal ideas and feelings guide us. And then it helps us gently grow. We're joyful, we're willing, and we're eager for our next step. Have you ever felt eager for your next step? A lot of us live in dread of our next step. Oh, God. But when you're in the flow of divine guidance, you're eager for it. And it comes in minuscule ways, this guidance. It's not just the big step. It's every moment, minuscule little things. When we got back, we've been back several days, but jet lag is still upon me. And I was having to work editing a transcription of one of the seminary classes we teach. We're trying to get a master book going. And I was tired. And I had highlighted an entire paragraph to edit. Delete. And I said to myself, this makes no sense. Of course, I'm leaning like this, tired. Makes no sense. And the voice said to me, don't delete that. And I went, it makes no sense. The minute I hit the delete button, I woke up to myself and said, what did you just do? You just went against this specific guidance that was very clear. They hadn't said anything else so far, but specifically, an angel stepped in and said, don't delete that. And I caught it the minute I did it. And I went, but it made no sense. So I hit the undo button. You know, you can hit the undo button immediately, but if you wait too long, it's gone. So I hit the undo button, put it back in there and said, well, what is this about? And I read it, and then I read the next paragraph, and without it, the next paragraph did not make sense. And it was very important. How minor is that? How minor is that? It's very minor, very minor. But they were with me in that minor moment. Do you see? When you're in that flow of wanting to be in God guidance, everything is important. To make life easy for you. To make it easy for you. That's what it's about. All right. Living with God daily is a choice. We can maintain our relationship with God when the drama hits, or we can choose to walk with God, and that's our choice. Have you caught on that you can't avoid God? Has that like become a reality? Yeah? Okay. All right. Metaphysically, God is nearer than hands and feet. We talk about it all the time. God is life. You can't avoid life. God is a part of all that is, and God is the life force within every being on this planet. God is actually a part of all life. All life, everything that has life, is a part of the consciousness of God. We don't understand all that yet, but we can certainly look at one another and know that no matter who we are as human beings, God is in there. There's a spark of divinity within every person who takes breath. God is. We cannot escape life itself. So, here's the deal. If your life feels like a struggle in any way, where have you placed God? If there is any aspect of your life that feels like a struggle, where have you placed God? Have you put Him on the mountaintop? Have you said, God, I'll deal with you when I die? Or have you said, I got this, God. I'll do it myself. I have to prove myself on this one, you know. Out you go. And the minute you say that, you've just disconnected that download, that guidance, that little voice that says, don't edit that. You're going to regret it, and it's going to cost 10 more hours of typing. Don't do that.